No, I'm just kidding. It's actually not scary at all. It's a nice rainy day here in October in San Diego, so I thought it would be a good time to give you a book review of this book, the sequel to The Exorcist, William Peter Blatty. I got this book, you can tell it's a library book. Yeah, I patronize my local library. And it seemed like a great time to read this book. You know, October, Halloween season here in San Diego. It's a nice, brisk, rainy day here. So it seemed like just a great time to read a good, scary novel. And I need to start off by saying how much I love the original Exorcist. Both the novel and the movie just scared the crap out of me. Just genuinely disturbing, really eerie imagery, creepy, unsettling, so many just horrifying lines, and just this pure evil that we see in the demon that possesses Regan in that story. And so I had high hopes for this book. It's by the same author, Legion. It came out a few years after The Exorcist, and it's supposed to be a direct sequel to The Exorcist. So I thought, yeah, this sounds really promising. Now then you look at this book, let's take a look at the description here, and it sounds like a promising description. And also, I should say there's a movie based on this book. I have not seen the movie yet. The movie sounds like it's very good. It got really good reviews. It's got George C. Scott in it, and it's supposed to be a well-done, creepy movie. And the premise here, just listen to this. William Peter Blatty has written a novel that transcends The Exorcist in suspense, searing power, and intensity. A young boy, a deaf mute, is found horribly murdered in a mock crucifixion. And basically, the premise is there's a few other murder victims that appear. First, it's this young boy, then a couple of priests are found killed. Really grisly, gruesome murders. The really crazy thing, though, is that they're murdered in the same style as a serial killer who died years ago. So it follows this detective, Kinderman, and Kinderman, he's investigating these murders. And it's this big baffling mystery because whoever's killing these people in this like ritualistic, horrible ways, they're following the MO of a serial killer who died a long time ago. So yeah, that's kind of this mystery. It could be supernatural. Maybe it's a demon that's making somebody do something. So you think this is going to be like a fast-paced, creepy, scary story. Wrong. No, it's like the opposite. This book is so boring. I slogged through it. I'm getting rain on my camera here. Give me a sec here. This book took so much effort to just get through. It is the most boring. Nothing happens. In the first 100 pages, nothing happens in this book. And I mean like almost literally nothing moves the plot forward. Like 90% of this book, it's just a lot of philosophical musings with this detective. Hang on a sec. Let's get out from the rain here. It's this detective Kinderman, and it's just him like contemplating the problem of evil and thinking about, you know, can a good God exist with evil existing in the world, and what do we do with this? Not even in like a sophisticated way. A lot of it is just repeating the same kind of philosophy 101 kind of question, just rephrasing the same question a lot of different ways. It's like really wordy and verbose. I would say fairly masturbatory in its way of approaching this. Not to mention, it's supposed to be a novel, and it's supposed to be this detective story where he's investigating murders and nothing is happening. Nothing is moving the plot forward in this. It's such a waste of a nice rainy day. We barely get these in San Diego. I should have this rain pouring down on my face and be talking about a super creepy story with demons and priests and murders. But there'll be like one sentence that moves the narrative forward a little bit, and then just like pages and pages of philosophical musings. Let me give you an example here. I really try to give a book a fair chance. When I start reading it, I give it at least 80 pages, 100 pages. If it's not picking up by 100 pages, that's when I will give up on it. And this book failed that test. So I skipped through, I kind of finished, I read the last bits of it, skipped through a lot of it because it's very repetitive. And I feel like this book review is becoming repetitive just talking about it because it's the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, how could a good God exist in a world where evil exists? And what about evolution? And where did the human eye come from? So here we're on, take a look here. We're on page 80 and 81. Now, by this point in the book, almost nothing at all has happened. But here, finally, we got another murder victim. This priest was found dead in the confessional. So, okay, there's some action. And Detective Kinderman, he's on the case. And he shows up, and he's talking to people for a couple of pages and interviewing witnesses. Like, finally, the story's moving forward a little bit. And then guess what Kinderman does? He goes on this long-ass rant about evolution and good and evil. So he's talking to witnesses of a grisly murder, and then Kinderman says one more thing about evolution. They keep saying that it's chance, all chance, and that it's simple. Billions of fish kept flopping up on the shore, and then one day a smart one looks around and says, wonderful, Miami Beach, the Fontainebleau. I think I'll stick around here and breathe. Actually, I should give him this cartoonish voice, so Detective Kinderman, he's written as like this kind of wise-talking Jewish guy, and he's always dropping Yiddish phrases into his speech. I'm pretty sure Blatty's not Jewish, and it feels a little caricaturesque, so I feel like he needs to be read with a voice like that. And so he keeps on saying, so help me God, so goes the legend of the pilled-down cop, but it's all a schmeckel. If the fish breathes the air, he drops dead, no survivors, and the playboy life is over. So, okay, that's the fable in the popular mind. You want it better? Scientific? I am here to oblige. The real story is this mackerel who came in from the cold doesn't stay on the shore. And, dude, check it out. It just fucking goes on for a page, and then another page. And this, we're supposed to believe that this is a murder scene. There's like a beheaded dead body in the confessional behind him. Everybody's super freaked out. There's a mass killer on the loose. And this Schmendrick here is just going off page 84. He's still going at it. And just going on this like masturbatory philosophical rant about like how does evolution happen and does God exist or not. Finally, like 4 pages later, he starts talking about the actual killing and talking about, it's a little windy, but you're not even missing anything. You don't need to read it. He's like, oh, so that means, because evolution is a mystery, that must mean that this guy in the windbreaker might be the killer, and let's try to find some clues or leads or something. And let me show you the view here at Balboa Park. It's a lovely rainy day, and it's just a wonderful day to be at the park. But this book, major bummer, major disappointment. So I'll show you one more thing I need to show you about this book. So nothing happens and nothing happens, and it's not until like page 137 out of 245 pages. 137 is when finally we get stuff happening. So then by 137, finally we get Detective Kinderman talking about the Gemini killer is the name of the original murderer. And finally he's talking about, that guy and his past and his childhood. And then we get some kind of interesting stuff after that. I feel like I should face the clock tower because this is kind of ooh, look at, I hope this will come out on the video. You get like the rain kind of going in front of let's do a little zoom. Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, let's get the clock tower behind me here. So I should say, like, the last 40 pages of the book, stuff is finally happening, and it sounds like he's talking to a mental patient who seems to have like psychic knowledge about the murders, and there's a little mystery. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for you, not because you should read this book. Please, for the love of God, read anything else for Halloween to get in the creepy mood, do not read this book. Read the original Exorcist if you want. Daphne du Maurier, I'm reading a novel by her, my cousin Rachel. I'm just getting started, and that is fantastic. Really good, like gothic, creepy mystery. So read du Maurier, Daphne du Maurier for sure, if you want to get in the Halloween mood. I won't spoil the ending of this, only because I've heard the movie is actually good, and the movie's based on the book. So check out the movie with George C. Scott. Go check that out, and I'm assuming it follows the same story, but major disappointment. William Peter Blatty's Legion, one of the biggest, most boring wastes of time that I've found from an author who has good stuff that he's written, but he really misses the mark on this. So if I've calculated this right, by the time I hold this up, oh no, I didn't calculate it right. I was hoping that the clock tower, the bells would go off like right when I finished, but I would have to kill like 4 more minutes of time. So we'll just end it there. Don't read this book. Read good stuff if you want to read good horror novels. Signing out here on a nice rainy day in San Diego, Balboa Park.